Hey, what's up guys, Rev here. So over the past couple of weeks, we've seen a lot of criticism being launched against localizers of anime and manga, and I've covered a lot of the reaction of localizers and their supporters within the industry to that criticism. And one thing we haven't looked at during all this time is the reaction of the public, and in particular, people trying to downplay the criticism being directed towards localizers. Now, there's a lot of this happening on Twitter, which is probably not very surprising, where users are trying to downplay this criticism largely for two reasons. Number one, because they dislike anime and manga and want any chance to try to attack fans of it. And two, they're angry about the messengers, the people spreading the awareness about the misdeeds of localizers. And one of those people is Asmongold. He's been very involved with spreading this message to his community and to a much larger spotlight. And people are now angry at Asmongold because as popular as he is, of course he's going to have people dislike them, and it's unsurprising that they would be flocking to Twitter to complain about him. And I see this tweet and related thread in the public reaction. I think it gives us a very good insight into how disingenuous this criticism is directed towards Asmongold and anyone talking about these bad localizations. So let's start here. It says, genuinely might be one of the worst titles I've seen on YouTube. Just kind of vile. And of course, this vile portion is referring to the use of the word woke. If you think a YouTube title containing the word woke is vile, I think you've had a very privileged and sheltered existence if that's something that is truly vile in your eyes. Now, I'll admit personally, for many years, I always try to avoid using the term woke because I think it's often very overused. But in this localization drama that's taken place over the past couple of weeks, I have used the term woke to refer to these localizers because I really can't think of any other word to use. Because you see some of these players like Jamie Marchi, a localizer, who has openly stated that she is actively changing translations and localizations just to piss off people she didn't like with a political motivation behind it. I don't know what other word to use other than woke. It just seems like it fits. And moving on in their thread, they say, even leaving aside the weird inclusion of woke, translators are an incredibly underappreciated role as it is. AI can't understand the nuances of language and art. This will lead to only bad outcomes. Now, first of all, translators are underappreciated. However, in this situation, we are talking about localizers. We are primarily talking about localizers. This goes beyond just regular translator. These are people who are seeing translated text and then adding something onto it because they believe, even, sometimes falsely, that the message needs to be changed in some way to be consumed by a Western audience. So the fact that you're focusing on translators shows that you probably didn't even watch this video in the first place. But this idea that AI can never understand the nuances of language. Tell me what the nuance is of this localization. This is what the thread's talking about, and that's what the video that Asmongold made was primarily talking about. This translation, this localization in particular. Here's the translation saying, everyone was always saying something to me, so I tried toning down the exposure. How is it? Referring to her clothing. The localization says, oh, those pesky patriarchal societal demands were getting on my nerves, so I changed clothes. Tell me the nuance behind that, because this line right here doesn't even make any sense based on the character in the scene. She's not even human. She doesn't understand how society functions and how humans function. There's nothing here about the patriarchy. She wouldn't even understand what the patriarchy is at this point as someone who just arrived on this planet. And going forward, a lot of translators have come out and pointed out alternative versions, syllable for syllable, about this localization that would be a better alternative. And people like Jamie rejected them and even name called them. She doesn't have respect for translators. If you want to look at people disrespecting and underappreciating translators, look to these localizers who are doing just that. But moving on, the thread says, apparently there's a specific translation, the one we just looked at, people are angry about, which is unfathomably dumb justification for the move to AI localization. Just because this art restoration exists doesn't discount the discipline of art restoration. First of all, apples and oranges. This is completely unrelated. Art restoration has nothing to do with this situation where Japanese media is being vandalized. It's not being restored, it's being vandalized by these localizers. And this idea of, everyone's rallying behind a transition to AI. That's not very true. People understand that AI translations are not ideal. However, the purpose of the videos covering this situation, like the one you're talking about in your thread, is that people don't feel bad for these localizers if their job is getting replaced by AI because they have been disrespecting the media that they were trusted to translate. That is the main focus. People understand that AI is not ideal. The ideal result is a proper professional translator doing a proper job, not these localizers who are inserting their own political messages and Gen Z humor into their translations, often with the intent of pissing off people they don't like. But if you want a real set of proof that probably, and I'm lowballing, 95% of the people supporting this thread had not watched the video, here's some great proof of that. People are incredibly disingenuous. This user said, "This is the dumbass y'all are gassing up." And someone replied saying, "I'm gonna watch the video and see if it's as bad as the comments say." You know, bravo to this Twitter user right here. I applaud you for actually questioning some of these things people are saying in threads like this and getting an opinion for yourself. Now, you might have noticed there's one like on this reply, and it's from the original poster. So they're supporting them going out to watch the video and come up with their own opinion, or at least an opinion they agree with. And here is the result of this person watching the video. They come back and say, okay, watch the video, and it's not as bad as people made it out to be. It tackles the explanation and reaction of certain localizers and translators completely rewriting an entire line that doesn't fit into the context of the story, the character, or the politics of it. And they go on, but basically you can notice they say, whoa, this criticism of the video doesn't seem to really match up, and it seems like people are making up things and have no idea what the video is actually about. Also notice something interesting here. No likes. They didn't like this one, the original poster. They saw someone making an opinion of their own, and it wasn't what they liked, so dismissed, basically. Here's another quote retweet saying, "I can't stand Coomer-ass glorified Markov chain dick riders with zero translation background making the most mentally challenged assessments about something they know nothing about. Like anti-localization folks and AI bros are already annoying on their own. No one asked for inbreeding." Like, first of all, genuinely, are you okay? Like, honestly, are you okay? Are you doing fine? Because this is a bit of a harsh reaction. And all it does is show, again, you have no idea what this situation is about. You're attacking Asmongold because you're saying he has no translation background. He doesn't have the qualification to talk about this. Well, guess what? Neither do the people who are making the localizations. They admit to this. This is the localizer responsible for the dialogue everyone is talking about in this thread and in this video. And she has admitted she doesn't speak Japanese. And she later admitted that the script adapters for dubs also often don't speak Japanese. This confirms the criticisms and concerns that people have had about English localizations, that the people involved don't speak Japanese and don't understand Japanese culture before they're making their localizations and changing the original Japanese dialogue. They confirm this. Anyone watching this video is as qualified as these localizers to make these changes, and that's why people are concerned. But moving on, here's some more stellar criticism. You know, they see a 46-minute long video, and the only criticism they have is Asmongold has a dirty room, which tells me you have absolutely no argument to make. Here's another one saying, oh my god, finally, with this meme. Anytime you see this meme, you know the person you're dealing with is annoying. It says, when the random e-celeb you dislike for just being dumb and annoying and unfunny finally is outed for a legitimate reason to dislike them. Often you'll see this posted in threads like exposing big content creators as like predators or something, like legitimately serious things, which is already kind of weird that you're posting memes in situations like that. But in this case, he's being exposed with a legitimate reason now to dislike him. So everything he's done before this is fine, but putting woke in the title of this video about localizers and their misdeeds, that's the straw that broke the camel's back for you. Yeah, really living up to that name, normal guy. I think you're really trying a little too hard to convince people you're a normal person, but anyways. Here's one of these, oh god, Twitter found this. This is truly a Twitter moment. Why would you want to watch Dragon Maid anyway? All the characters either look like children, are children, or are pedophiles. Amazing. Can't tell the difference between fiction and reality. If you look at this anime with literal dragons in it and you're confusing it with something in real life, I think that's a problem you need to fix yourself. It's also incredibly ironic to see this comment from somebody with a Comey profile picture. You realize you're basing your online personality on an anime about high school students. Like, is it really that much different? But moving on, here's another one saying, no wonder the usual chud content creators are dying because this guy exists. Just like the meme we just talked about, anyone using chud unironically, like, instantly dismiss whatever they're saying. And I don't really know what they're saying in this situation. Are they implying that Asmongold in his content is dying? Or are they implying similar content creators are dying? I don't really see any proof of that, but it still gets you a couple hundred likes on Twitter. Here's another one saying his own content can be replaced by AI easily too. Hell, this content can be replaced by Mad Libs and a chimpanzee. Okay, do it. I mean, if you think it's that easy, go do it. Do you want to be a millionaire? Because if you could replicate that, that's what you would achieve. So why don't you go do it yourself then? Yeah, we've seen how AI reactions to things has really worked out well for people, right? With Quebblecop, you might want to look into Quebblecop and how the internet has been perceiving that form of AI reaction videos. It's been collectively dumped on and laughed at and has not been successful in any way. But that's a story for another day. But here's another comment saying, one time I showed my friend an Asmongold clip and they responded by saying they were certain that they could convince him that the water cycle wasn't real if you gave them 5 minutes in a room together. And then the whole room stood up and applauded. Yeah, that didn't happen. Okay. What is this even supposed to mean or have anything to do with this video? Again, you can type all these paragraphs out, but like make a legitimate criticism based on the video. But you haven't watched the video, like 95% of the people in this thread. But basically, this all boils down to very simple points. Like I said earlier in the video, a dislike of anime and manga, and a dislike of the people spreading the message. This quote retweet saying, "You're so effing mad he exposed these garbage localizers ruining other people's hard work." That's what it is at the end of the day. Why are they fighting so hard to defend these localizers? They don't even know anything about these localizers and what they've done and their attitude online. They just see people they don't like spreading a message and they want to do everything they can to stomp out that message. Here's another one saying, love that the excuse for bad translation is always, why do you care? It's just a few times. It's really not that bad, when in reality, it's every single major release of the last decade. Not only that, they're not just bad at it, they're actively spiteful to the community. Now, this first part right here is very true. The reason a lot of these people on Twitter don't care, say, just it's only a few examples or it's not that bad, is because they're not actually anime and manga fans. They don't care. It's not their hobby. If you actually care about these things, of course you're going to care when there's mistranslations, and it's not just one or two here and there. It is persistent. I mean, literally getting ready to record this video, I'm tagged in multiple tweets about new mistranslations that are being found in localizations of ongoing manga chapters and anime series. Like, it's a really pervasive issue. And down here saying it's not just that they're bad at it, they're actively spiteful. That's what makes it even worse. They're not just doing bad localizations because they're not good at their job. They're doing it to spite people, and that makes it so much worse. What other industry exists out there where you are actively trying to spite your own customer for reasons that you really can't articulate other than you just think you're better than them or you dislike them politically or something like that? It's like going to a restaurant and ordering a burger, and instead of giving you a burger, they give you a vegan option, and they basically have an attitude towards you when they give it to you because they think they know better than you. It's just disrespectful. Here's another summation of these events saying, enjoy injecting identity politics just to brag about it, decades of no consequence, believe they are above the rest of society just because they barely know Japanese, laugh at honest criticisms. The title is cute compared to what localizers did to the industry, cope. I mean, that's a very good summation of everything. part of the problem is that these localizers just feel comfortable doing this because they've gotten away with it for so many years and they've gone unquestioned, so they feel like they're just never going to be stopped or criticized or eventually even fired. But basically, to sum up the situation, this has been a big win for anime and manga fans, bringing more of a spotlight on the situation. And yes, it's very hard to actually get some substantial change, like legitimate consequences to these localizers doing things bad, or to get them to make better work. But I encourage you not to be black-pilled about this situation or to try to give up or say it's meaningless. It's not meaningless. The more attention that's being drawn to this, the stronger the message is becoming, and we're going to see some positive changes eventually. I truly believe that, but that's going to do it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed. Please share all of your thoughts about today's topics in the comment section down below, and I'll see you guys next time.